Can you really save your marriage if she's in love with someone else? It can be difficult to believe you can when the average reconciliation rate of married couples is around 14%. However, after saving hundreds of marriages over the past decade as a licensed therapist, I would be an idiot if I didn't notice the exact actions that the 14% of men follow to get their wives back. So let me ask you a question. If you were shown a for sure way to get her back, would you take it? Well, what if I told you that you only need one skill to be that 14%? In fact, teaching our clients that one skill leads to results like this.
That was a Sunday. And by Tuesday night, we were intimate. Like, you can't make this stuff up, Josh. You know, I mean, and like we've already talked to therapists and we've told them where we are, and they're like, this is unheard of. People don't reconcile this strong and this fast. We're 2 weeks in, and I feel like I'm more in love with her than I've been in years, Josh.
We are back together. We are sleeping on the same bed. We're having intimacy. We have better connection.
She's so fucking happy around me all the time. She's so like girly, like dancing, singing, like just, I'm like, it's almost uncomfortable. Like, I don't know this woman.
So that's what I plan to teach you in today's video. But before I share that with you, that vital skill, I want to first show you the mindset guaranteed to lose her and what to think and do instead. And then I'm going to show you how to create curiosity in her mind. And then finally, I'm going to show you that skill that all the men that you saw mastered to get her back. So the first principle today is the apex mindset. Now look, you have to first understand the correct perception of your situation. Without a correct assessment of you, her, in the context of everything, you're going to do the wrong things and therefore get the wrong results. So there are two incorrect belief systems or perceptions that men can hold that will completely sabotage all chances of getting her back. And then I'm going to show you three things that you must do to have the best opportunity to win her back. So the first incorrect perception is what I call the belittler. It's often a common trope to see the guy that she ends up with and think, why the hell is she with him? I am so much better than that guy. I just don't get it. I specifically remember a client who had this exact situation with his wife. I remember him telling me, he says, Josh, the guy is a loser. He makes less money than me. He's smaller than me. He's like not in good shape. Like he has like a really crappy job. I just don't get it. As much as all that may have been true, here's why it's not a good thing to think that about the other guy. See, you are lowering the other guy's value to make yourself feel better. As much as that is a normal thing to do, it's also damaging because by doing that, you don't fully reflect on why she's actually leaving you in the first place. Thereby, you are neglecting what actually brings value to a woman and why she chooses certain men. You may have more money than the other guy. You may be in better shape, better looking, or whatever the case may be. But as much as it stinks, this guy is giving her something that you couldn't. You can give him that, and that thing is emotional safety. Now, we're going to work on developing that later with the skill, but for now, try your best to not even think about the other guy. Don't even have him in your mind at all. He shouldn't exist in your mind. Now, the opposite end or the other guy, the wrong perception, is what I call the shamed. This is thinking that somehow this other man is better than you, that you're not good enough and he has all these things that you don't have. I'm going to give you some more reassurance here. The fact remains is that she is rebounding right now. And studies will back this up that a relationship coaching site based on a sample of 100 clients found that the average rebound lasts only between 3 to 4 months. And then another counseling site I found showed that 90% of rebounds, or just basically relationships after a long term, only last 2 months. So strictly by the numbers, you don't even have to worry. You just have to do this next step. And all those people that actually were successful in getting her back, they most likely didn't use that one skill that I'm going to teach you. So the inevitable time will arise when she does come back, but you'll screw it up if you don't do this next step first, okay? Just know for this final point, that guy is not better than you and you are not better than him, okay? I don't want you to think in terms of that. I want you to think in terms that he is providing something for her that you haven't been. I call it the 90-10 rule. Essentially, you have been giving her 90% of everything and she is missing that 10%. And now she found a guy that's going to give her that 10%, but he's missing the 90. But she's only going to focus on that 10% for a couple of months, and then she's going to realize everything she's missed out. But only if you act the correct way. If you still act the same way, you're putting down the other guy, you're being needy, all the things we talk about on this channel not to do, she's going to still focus on the 10% that you don't have. So all you have to do is this next step and then master that 10%, which is the one skill what that does. Now, before I show you that skill, let's teach you how to even get the opportunity for her to give you that chance again. That's what the second principle is all about, which is correct space equals curiosity. Now, there's two reasons why correct space works so well. Correct space creates curiosity. The idea of this skill that I'm going to show you is why you're listening to me right now, because you're like, well, Josh, just give me the skill. I can't wait to hear it so I can use it. We as human beings cannot help that process of creating curiosity. Now you see, she needs to know that you have changed. And the only way for her to even give the opportunity for you to change is for extended space to occur, because in that extended space, she has to believe change is occurring. But if you're constantly contacting her, reaching out to her, I don't care, it's about the most mundane things, or it's even once a week, she thinks you're not changing no matter what. Now, for a lot of you, you have the great opportunity to have that space if she's moved out. But for some of you, well, she's in the same house, or you guys have kids together and you see each other all the time. It doesn't mean that you can't use correct space, okay? There is a way to still do it. And look, honestly, I'm going to expand on the next principle from higher level, how to do this. But practically speaking, it's about finding hobbies again that you used to do, or following things that you used to be passionate about, having a very strict gym routine, like finding clubs that you're interested in, living your life and actually doing more than just work and family like you have been doing for so many years. It's about expanding your personality and falling in love and being passionate about things that you are curious about. And by that curiosity in life itself, it creates a whole effect, a whole new aspect of your personality that you are growing that will be honestly and authentically new. Let me show you the most important aspect of finding who you are again, recreating yourself to be closer to God. Now, when I say closer to God, I don't mean from a religious perspective. Yes, if it has been a part of your life where you used to read the Bible more or go to church or pray, do those things. What I'm referring to is being more connected in a flow state, being more authentic to your soul's blueprint, being the man that you used to be when you were with her. If I'm asked why marriages fall apart with men, what they do wrong, a lot of the times it's complacency, right? Just not really living in your edge anymore, not being the man that you used to be, sacrificing so much of yourself just to keep the peace, just to make her happy, happy wife, happy life, right? And I was watching one of our brilliant coaches, and he was coming to the realization in tears, like tearing up, that he wasn't being himself, that he was like a hostage in his own home with how much criticism he was receiving from his wife. But it was his fault because he was sacrificing who he was. And he was talking about how he used to love playing basketball. And he didn't play in the past like 5 years. It's not that he couldn't physically, he just didn't have the time. And our coach brilliantly said to him, wow, your wife never got to be your cheerleader. And that struck me so much, because the role that you have with your wife is that she's your roommate, you guys are co-parents, and sometimes you're lovers, but you're good friends, but you're not lovers that much, are you? You're not dating her, you're not swooning her, you're not taking her on new experiences, you're not doing and a lot of times the guys aren't even best friends with their wife, they're just co-parents, right? You're roommates with her. And that is the roles that you guys have with each other. You're missing so many elements that you used to have. There's so many beautiful aspects of who you are, attractive aspects, high value aspects that you have given up, that you've compromised because you believe that sacrifice was what's needed in order to make her happy. But sacrifice was never needed. She wanted you to be close to God. She wanted you to be close to who you were as a man, who she fell in love with. A man in his purpose, who was full, who was grounded, who was excited about life, joyful, doing things that he was scared of, taking risks. But you adopted these other roles in your life of, okay, now I gotta be a father, and I gotta be this, and I can't do these other things. I have to sacrifice. I don't know where you got that idea, because so many men in our society do. But you don't have to embody that role. In fact, the ability to say no to your wife, to do things that light you up, is what she really wants. And that inherent one belief that creates that complacency is one of many beliefs that are holding you back from stepping back into that man that you need to be, that apex man that we teach. So you want to uncover all those other beliefs. That's what a free strategy call will give you down below by setting up with our team. There are limited spots available each week. And make sure, if you're going to set up that call and take our coach's time, which is fine, we just are only going to accept the call if you're fully committed to making an investment in yourself, okay? Now, this skill is the ability to pass her tests. I'm going to give you a massive resource at the end of this video on how to go in depth on testing and what it is, why she does it, and all the examples how to pass. But let me share with you Sean's story and how he did it.
Well, first she asked me if I wanted to go on this trip with her for her sister-in-law's 50th birthday party to the islands. And I said no. And I don't think she was expecting that. Because her sister had asked me and her sister-in-law had asked me, and I told them all no. And then Katie called me and asked me, and the reason I gave was I'm not willing to do that as long as this other person still has any role in your life.
You see, with Sean, she was seeing another man as well. And he fully invested himself into the program, gave it all. And there was a point where she created curiosity, And then there was the magical, every single client, if you watch our reviews channel, you can see it down below. All the videos pretty much, you will see in my interviews with the guys who saved their marriage, there is this pivotal moment. It is the test. It is the big test where she's willing to come back after the curiosity, after your changes, after you're closer to God. She'll notice it. She'll intuit it. Even if she's not seeing it, she just feels it, okay? And then she will do something where she'll say something along the lines of, hey, I want you back, but she's still going to be seeing another guy. Now, the only way to fail this test is to take those breadcrumbs, sacrifice who you are and what you want just to get her back. But here's what Sean did.
And then she finally broke it off exactly a week ago today and asked for my forgiveness, which is the first time she'd ever asked that, and asked if I was still open to reconciliation, which is also the first time she'd ever asked that. And I said, yes, that's what I've wanted, for the last 7 months.
You see, Sean, he was able to say, you know what? No, I'm not going to see you unless you stop seeing the other guy. And that passing that risk, holding his own value is what got her to see that he is a new man, a changed man. And so subsequently, paradoxically, she did come back, even though he rejected the idea of allowing her back. You see how that works? And that is the test. It's the biggest macro test that you're going to need to pass with her. But along the way, she's going to give you lots of little micro tests, and passing those kind of builds the blocks of curiosity and also builds back the man that you are. So again, if you want to set up a call with our team, click link down below to set up that call with the strategy call. And then also the video on tests is right here. It's one of the best ones on the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.